Hey, what's up, everybody? Tamara Braxton here, the founder of the Modern Health Club. Today, we're going to cover how to do a proper squat. If you've trained with me for any amount of time, you know that I am a stickler on the foundations of movements before we start adding the jumps and the fast and the burst and all that other goodness. So today, we're going to go over how to do the proper squat. I'm also going to share with you some modifications that you can use based on your current fitness ability. All right, so go ahead, grab some space and this opportunity, and let's get started. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go through the foundations of a squat. Now, this is just the basic squat. In other videos, I will talk about the different types of squats, but this is kind of the basic, the foundation, because it all builds on each other, okay? So if you want to work your lower back, your hips, your quads, your hamstrings, and your butt, the squat is totally for you. So what we're going to do, I'm going to actually give a kind of side shot because it's easier to see what it looks like, but I want you to put your feet about shoulder width apart, a little further than shoulder width apart actually, and your toes are parallel to the ground. You're going to pretend that there is a string from the top of your head to the ceiling, and that string is allowing you to only go straight up and straight down. None of this, okay? So no going backwards or forwards and no excessive bending. So I'm going to show you what that looks like from the side. So your feet are a little bit further than shoulder width. Your toes are pointing the wall and you are sliding down. Now, a couple things here. You want to make sure that your knees are behind your shoestrings. Your bottom is tucked. Your head is neutral. You can put your hands out front on your head or the high part of your waist. If you're doing a squat, you want to avoid putting it down at the lower hinge part as well as on your thighs because you don't want excess pressure on your thighs. You don't want to limit your range of motion if you put it too far down on your hips. So if you want to kind of come here for a little bit, support instability, or the top of your head or out front, regardless, whichever one works for you. Another thing you want to make sure that you have is all of your weight is in your heels. Well, how do you do that? Well, if you're down here on your squat, you should be able to tap your toes and your toes should lift. If your toes don't lift, you want to make sure that you are shifting your weight back into your heels and so that you're able to lift your toes. Another thing you want to make sure that you do is have your heels remain on the ground. I see that a lot because people are trying to go down too far too soon. So you want to make sure that you have your weight in your heels and you're here. Your knees are behind your shoelaces. You bring it up and down just like that. So what do you do if you can't go down and keep your balance or go down and your knees keep going over your shoestrings? There are a couple modifications that you can do. The easiest one is to just go down a little bit as opposed to trying to go down too deep too soon. So if you want to stop here, so you kind of pay real close attention to what your body is doing. And if you find that if you go down too deep, you start to shift in an unhealthy way because you can hurt yourself, then just give it a little bend for now because that's just where you are for now and that's totally cool. Another thing that you can do is you can widen your stance. So if this is our typical squat stance, what I want you to do is come nice and wide. You're also going to turn your heels in because this helps open up your thighs and your range of motion. So now you can come down, still keeping up with the knees behind our shoestrings, heels on the ground, making sure our weight is still in our heels and not our toes. But this helps increase your range of motion. So you can come down just like that if that helps. But if you find that your knees and everything else is hurting and you just can't do the squat without support, you can always get a chair and allow the back of the chair to support you. Now, when you do this, you want to make sure that you are facing the chair so that you can equally distribute your weight along your wrist, but you don't want it to be too much. It's just there for support. So what does that look like? So you're still nice and wide and your hands are here and it's helping you and supporting you and bringing it up. just in case you need it. Okay? That is the fundamentals of a squat. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you do, and subscribe to the channel so that you can get updates on other videos that I post. Until next time, cheers to you and your happy, healthy self. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.